was up here. I was up here. God damn it!
Ryan Reynolds, the man who made millions laugh, built an empire worth over $600 million, and married Blake Lively, America's favorite star couple, finally revealed the truth in 2025, and it wasn't the story fans expected. Behind the charm, sarcasm, and endless jokes was a man fighting panic attacks that nearly ended his career, carrying scars from a childhood filled with fear, silence, and pressure. He masked with humor for decades. Born in Vancouver on October 23, 1976, Reynolds was the youngest of 4 boys in a strict Irish Catholic family where tension ran high and laughter was often his only defense. His father, a former Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer turned food salesman, ruled the house with discipline, and his mother worked retail to keep the family going. With 3 older brothers constantly teasing him, Ryan became the family's moving target, learning early that quick wit was the best armor against chaos. Instead of breaking under that pressure, he transformed it into performance, finding his escape in humor and acting. At just 12 years old, he landed a part in the Canadian teen drama Hillside, also known as 15 on Nickelodeon, earning $150 an episode, enough to buy his freedom and glimpse life beyond the storm at home. But beneath that early success was a boy struggling with anxiety, a pain that followed him for years. His father's inability to express emotion left Ryan seeking approval in every room he entered, a pattern that would later shape both his career and his private battles with mental health. By 1994, during a night shoot for the fantasy series The Odyssey, Reynolds suffered his first panic attack, but he hid it, terrified of being seen as weak. He took night shifts at Safeway, survived a terrifying robbery, and then made the bold choice to move to Los Angeles with nothing but hope and a friend. His first night there, his car was stolen, forcing him to drive around in a doorless Jeep to auditions, facing rejection after rejection. Casting directors called him forgettable. But instead of quitting, he threw himself into improv theater, where he rediscovered the spark that would later make him one of Hollywood's most magnetic stars. That resilience finally paid off in 1998 when he was cast as Michael Bergen in Two Guys, a Girl and a Pizza Place. The show wasn't meant to last, but Reynolds' wild energy and natural humor made it a hit, pulling in millions of viewers. By the time the series ended in 2001, he had become a recognizable TV face, but Hollywood still didn't take him seriously. Then came Van Wilder, the movie that changed everything. With a $5 million budget, it made over $50 million, and Reynolds became the face of college comedy. Yet behind that success, his mental health was crumbling. The fame, pressure, and constant need to perform started to wear him down, especially after Foolproof flopped and left him questioning his worth. In 2004, Reynolds entered darker territory with Blade, Trinity, where his feud with Wesley Snipes turned the set into chaos. He learned how toxic egos could destroy a project, and by the time filming ended, he was mentally and physically drained. His next challenge, the Amityville Horror, blurred the line between performance and haunting reality when he stayed inside the replica of a murder house for weeks, experiencing strange scratches, sleepwalking, and unexplainable nightmares. Then came heartbreak. His engagement with Alanis Morissette ended amid rumors and on-set tension during Just Friends, pushing him deeper into emotional exhaustion. Still, Reynolds kept going, chasing the kind of success that would finally silence his critics. But Hollywood's cruelest blow came in 2009 when X-Men Origins. Wolverine butchered his Deadpool character by sewing his mouth shut, erasing the very humor that defined him. The backlash was massive, and the humiliation stayed with him. Then Green Lantern in 2011 nearly destroyed his career. The CGI suit, messy reshoots, and financial flop left him broken, doubting his place in Hollywood. He called it actor jail, where studios didn't trust him with big projects anymore. But from that failure came his greatest comeback. Reynolds spent nearly a decade fighting to make Deadpool the right way. He funded a test reel with his own money, leaked it anonymously, and when fans demanded the movie, Fox had no choice but to approve it. The result was history. Deadpool made over $780 million worldwide, turning a joke into a phenomenon and giving Reynolds the career he had always dreamed of. He took that success and turned it into power, not just in Hollywood, but in business. Reynolds became the co-owner of Aviation Gin, transforming it into a global brand before selling it for $610 million. He bought into Mint Mobile and turned cheap phone service into a cultural statement, earning hundreds of millions more when T-Mobile bought it out. Then came Wrexham AFC, a struggling Welsh football club he and Rob McElhenney bought in 2020, turning it into a worldwide sensation worth nearly $500 million. Through it all, Reynolds proved he was more than an actor. He was a strategist, a businessman, and a storyteller who turned pain into purpose. But even as the empire grew, anxiety followed him. The filming of Buried in 2010 triggered intense panic attacks that haunted him for years. Trapped inside a coffin for hours each day, he relived the claustrophobia of his childhood home, where silence could explode into shouting. Therapy, meditation, and fatherhood became his healing tools. His wife Blake Lively helped him ground himself, teaching him that peace doesn't come from success, but from slowing down. Together, they built a family with 4 children: James, Inez, Betty, and Olin. And despite the chaos, Reynolds calls their home his safest place. In 2025, when rumors spread that he was ready to quit acting, he instead surprised everyone with more projects, from producing documentaries to starring in Animal Friends with Jason Momoa. He even faced new controversies and lawsuits, but handled them with the honesty that once terrified him to show. Now, after decades of hiding pain behind laughter, Ryan Reynolds has become a symbol of resilience, someone who proves that humor can be both a shield and a healing force. From rejection to billion-dollar success, from panic attacks to public victories, he's shown that even Hollywood's funniest man carries scars beneath the smiles. And through it all, one truth remains: he never stopped fighting for himself. If you enjoyed this story about Ryan Reynolds' incredible journey, make sure to subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon, because more untold Hollywood stories are coming your way.